Have seen Prince Harry appearing in high-profile interviews in the UK and in the US ahead of the official release of his memoir. Well, there have been plenty of revelations and nothing but silence from Prince Harry's father and brother, King Charles and Prince William.
Prince Harry just exposed the royal family's darkest secret, and the internet is going insane. You won't believe what the DNA test revealed about Archie that made Harry completely lose his mind in court. The palace is panicking as Harry threatens to destroy the monarchy with one shocking truth they've been hiding from the world.
There's a spare in the air, my brother being the heir and me being the spare, and so I think it was just a really good opportunity to choose a title that had been somewhat used against me for a long part of my life and own that title.
Recent reports have surfaced suggesting that Prince Harry underwent DNA testing related to his son Archie, with claims that the results led to dramatic reactions within the royal household. These allegations, while unconfirmed by official palace sources, have sparked widespread discussion about paternity, royal protocol, and the pressures facing modern members of the British royal family. According to various media reports, the controversy began when questions arose about standard medical procedures during Meghan's pregnancy. Some sources claim that routine prenatal testing, which can include genetic analysis, revealed unexpected information that prompted further investigation. These reports suggest that Prince Harry was initially shocked by certain test results and subsequently demanded additional testing to confirm or clarify the findings. The nature of prenatal DNA testing has evolved significantly in recent years, with medical advances allowing for detailed genetic analysis during pregnancy. Amniocentesis, a procedure that involves extracting amniotic fluid for testing, can provide comprehensive information about a developing baby's genetic makeup. While this procedure is sometimes performed for medical reasons, such as detecting genetic disorders, it can also theoretically be used to establish paternity when questions arise. However, it's important to note that prenatal paternity testing is not a routine procedure for royal births, and the claims surrounding such testing in this case remain unverified. Medical professionals typically perform amniocentesis only when there are specific medical indications or risk factors that warrant the procedure. The report suggests that after receiving initial test results, Prince Harry expressed disbelief and insisted on conducting additional testing to verify the findings. Sources claim that these subsequent tests confirmed that Archie was indeed Prince Harry's biological son, providing the reassurance that the couple needed during what must have been an incredibly stressful time. What makes the situation particularly complex is the historical context surrounding Prince Harry's own parentage. For decades, tabloid media and conspiracy theorists have questioned whether Prince Charles is Harry's biological father, with some suggesting that James Hewitt, a former cavalry officer who had a relationship with Princess Diana, might be Harry's real father. These rumors about Harry's paternity began circulating in the 1990s and have persisted despite being thoroughly debunked by timeline evidence and statements from those close to Princess Diana. The speculation has been a source of pain for Harry throughout his life, as he has had to repeatedly address questions about his legitimacy as a member of the royal family. James Hewitt first met Princess Diana in 1986, approximately 2 years after Prince Harry was born in September 1984. This timeline alone makes it impossible for Hewitt to be Harry's biological father. Despite this clear evidence, the rumors have continued to circulate, often resurfacing during periods of intense media scrutiny of the royal family. The persistence of these paternity rumors has had a profound impact on Prince Harry's relationship with the media and his approach to protecting his own family. Having experienced firsthand the damage that unfounded speculation can cause, Harry has become increasingly protective of his wife and children's privacy. In his legal battles with British tabloids, Prince Harry has referenced the pain caused by these ongoing paternity rumors. He has described feeling frustrated by media outlets that continue to publish unsubstantiated claims about his parentage, despite the lack of credible evidence supporting such theories. The current allegations about DNA testing related to Archie must be viewed within this broader context of Harry's lifelong struggle with media speculation about royal paternity. If these reports are accurate, they suggest that Harry was determined to ensure his son would not face the same doubts and questions that have plagued his own life. Sources close to the situation claim that some members of the royal family remained skeptical, even after the additional DNA testing confirmed Harry's paternity of Archie. This alleged skepticism within the family reportedly created tension and may have contributed to the growing distance between Harry and Meghan and other senior royals. The timing of these alleged events, occurring during Meghan's pregnancy and shortly after Archie's birth, would have been particularly stressful for the couple. The transition to parenthood is challenging under the best circumstances, and having to navigate questions about paternity while under intense public scrutiny would have added enormous pressure to an already difficult situation. It's worth noting that the royal family has not officially commented on these allegations, and both Harry and Meghan have remained silent about any DNA testing. The absence of official confirmation means that much of the information circulating in the media remains speculative and unverified. The broader implications of these allegations extend beyond the immediate family dynamics. Questions about royal paternity touch on fundamental issues of legitimacy, succession, and public trust in the monarchy. While Archie and his sister Lilibet are currently far from the direct line of succession, any doubts about their parentage could potentially impact their future roles within the royal family. The modern royal family faces unique challenges in balancing transparency with privacy, particularly when it comes to personal matters, like medical procedures and family relationships. The intense media interest in every aspect of royal life means that even routine medical care can become the subject of speculation and conspiracy theories. These latest allegations about DNA testing represent just one example of how the royal family must navigate the complex intersection of public interest, media scrutiny, and personal privacy. For Prince Harry and Meghan, who have repeatedly emphasized their desire to protect their children from unwanted attention, these reports represent exactly the kind of intrusive speculation they have sought to avoid. The situation also highlights the ongoing impact of Prince Harry's complicated relationship with his paternity rumors, and how those experiences continue to influence his approach to fatherhood and family protection. His determination to ensure clear documentation of his children's parentage, if the reports are accurate, reflects his commitment to preventing them from experiencing the same uncertainties he has faced throughout his life. The alleged DNA testing controversy surrounding Prince Harry and his son Archie cannot be fully understood without examining the decades-long speculation about Harry's own parentage. This speculation has cast a shadow over his life since childhood, and appears to have influenced his approach to protecting his own family from similar doubts and media intrusion. Reports suggest that the prenatal testing conducted during Meghan's pregnancy with Archie involved the analysis of amniotic fluid, a procedure known as amniocentesis. This medical test, while primarily used to detect genetic disorders and chromosomal abnormalities, can also provide information about paternity when questions arise. The procedure involves inserting a thin needle through the mother's abdomen to extract a small amount of amniotic fluid, which contains fetal cells that can be analyzed for genetic information. According to the circulating reports, the initial test results were unexpected and prompted Prince Harry to demand additional testing. Sources claim that Harry was determined to have absolute certainty about his paternity of the child, possibly driven by his own experiences with persistent questions about his legitimacy as a member of the royal family. The additional testing allegedly confirmed that Prince Harry was indeed Archie's biological father, providing the reassurance that the couple needed. However, reports suggest that some members of the royal family remained unconvinced even after these confirmatory results, creating tension within the family during what should have been a joyful time following Archie's birth. This alleged skepticism within the royal family, if accurate, would represent a significant breach of trust and support during a vulnerable period for Harry and Meghan. The idea that family members might question the legitimacy of their child, even in the face of scientific evidence, would understandably be deeply hurtful and could explain some of the tensions that have since become public between the Sussexes and other members of the royal family. To understand why Prince Harry might have been particularly sensitive to questions about paternity, it's essential to examine the persistent rumors that have surrounded his own parentage throughout his life. These rumors, which began in the 1990s and continue to this day, have suggested that James Hewitt, rather than Prince Charles, might be Harry's biological father. James Hewitt was a cavalry officer who served as Princess Diana's riding instructor and later became romantically involved with her during the troubled period of her marriage to Prince Charles. Their relationship, which lasted several years, became public knowledge and was extensively covered by the British media, adding to the scrutiny surrounding Diana's personal life during an already difficult time. The speculation about Harry's paternity appears to have originated from physical similarities that some observers noted between Harry and Hewitt, particularly their shared red hair and certain facial features. However, this speculation demonstrates a fundamental misunderstanding of both the timeline of events and the genetics of the Spencer family. Richard Dalton, who served as Princess Diana's hairstylist for many years and maintained a close relationship with her, has provided crucial testimony that definitively disproves the Hewitt paternity theory. According to Dalton's recent memoir, Princess Diana first met James Hewitt in 1986, approximately 2 years after Prince Harry was born in September 1984. This timeline makes it impossible for Hewitt to be Harry's biological father, as their relationship began well after Harry's birth. Dalton has described how deeply these rumors hurt Princess Diana, who found the persistent speculation about her son's paternity both offensive and painful. The suggestion that she had been unfaithful to Prince Charles before Harry's birth was not only untrue, but also added to her emotional burden during an already challenging period of her life. The timing of Diana's relationship with Hewitt is well documented through various sources and testimonies from people who knew both Diana and Hewitt during that period. Their relationship began in 1986 and continued for several years, ending in the early 1990s. This relationship occurred during a time when Diana's marriage to Charles was already under significant strain, but it began well after both William and Harry had been born. Another important factor that debunks the Hewitt theory is the genetic history of the Spencer family, Diana's maternal family. The Spencer family has a well-documented history of red hair, which explains Harry's distinctive coloring without requiring any connection to James Hewitt. Diana's brother Charles Spencer had bright red hair during his youth, and their sister Sarah Spencer also has striking red hair. This genetic trait appears to be common among Spencer family members, suggesting that Harry's red hair is simply an inherited characteristic from his mother's side of the family, rather than evidence of questionable paternity. The Spencer family's genetic history provides a clear explanation for Harry's physical characteristics that doesn't require any speculation about his father's identity. Despite the clear evidence against the Hewitt theory, these rumors have persisted in certain circles and continue to surface periodically in tabloid media and online discussions. The persistence of these unfounded claims has been a source of ongoing frustration for Prince Harry, who has had to live with questions about his legitimacy throughout his life. The impact of these rumors on Harry's psychological well-being cannot be understated. Growing up with persistent questions about whether he truly belongs to the royal family would create feelings of insecurity and anger toward those perpetuating such claims. This experience appears to have shaped Harry's determination to protect his own children from similar speculation and doubt. In his legal battles with British tabloids, Prince Harry has referenced the damage caused by these paternity rumors and has described feeling targeted by media outlets that continue to publish unsubstantiated claims. He has spoken about the emotional toll of having his legitimacy questioned and the frustration of seeing these debunked theories continue to circulate. The alleged DNA testing related to Archie can be seen as Harry's attempt to prevent his son from experiencing the same doubts and questions that have plagued his own life. If the reports are accurate, Harry's insistence on comprehensive testing demonstrates his commitment to establishing clear scientific proof of his paternity to protect Archie from future speculation. This protective instinct reflects Harry's broader approach to shielding his family from unwanted media attention and harmful speculation. Having experienced firsthand how damaging unfounded rumors can be, Harry appears determined to ensure that his children have the security and certainty that he may have felt was lacking in his own upbringing. The reported skepticism from some royal family members, even after confirmatory DNA testing, would represent a particularly painful betrayal for Harry and Meghan. The idea that family members might continue to doubt Archie's parentage despite scientific evidence would understandably create lasting tension and could explain some of the difficulties that have since emerged in Harry's relationships with other royals. These allegations about DNA testing and family skepticism provide important context for understanding the broader tensions within the royal family and the factors that may have contributed to Harry and Meghan's decision to step back from their royal duties and relocate to North America. Beyond the allegations of DNA testing surrounding Prince Harry and Archie, another layer of controversy has emerged that adds complexity to the ongoing speculation about the Sussex family. Lady Colin Campbell, a well-known royal commentator and author, has become a central figure in promoting claims about Meghan Markle's pregnancies that have captured public attention and sparked heated debate. Lady Colin Campbell, often referred to as Lady C, has built a reputation over decades as someone willing to make bold claims about the royal family. Her background as an aristocrat and her previous books about royal scandals have given her a platform that reaches millions of people interested in royal affairs. However, her latest focus on Meghan Markle's pregnancies represents perhaps her most controversial series of allegations to date. The claims Campbell has been promoting center around the suggestion that Meghan used a surrogate for both of her children, Archie and Lilibet. These allegations first began circulating shortly after Archie's birth in 2019, but Campbell has been instrumental in keeping them in public discussion and adding what she claims is additional evidence to support the theory. Campbell's interest in this topic appears to stem from observations she made about how Meghan's pregnancies were handled compared to other members of the royal family. She has pointed out that Meghan's approach to public appearances during pregnancy and the circumstances surrounding Archie's birth differed significantly from the traditional royal protocol followed by other family members. One of the primary observations that Campbell and others have highlighted is the contrast between Meghan's pregnancy announcements and those of other royal mothers. Princess Diana and Catherine, Princess of Wales, both made public appearances with their newborns shortly after giving birth, following a long-standing royal tradition of presenting new babies to the public outside the hospital. Meghan and Harry chose a different approach, opting for privacy during the birth and limiting public access to their newborn. They announced Archie's birth through official channels, but did not participate in the traditional hospital steps photo opportunity that has become synonymous with royal births. This departure from protocol raised questions among royal watchers and provided fuel for speculation about the circumstances of the birth. Campbell has also focused attention on what she describes as inconsistencies in Meghan's physical appearance during pregnancy. She and others have claimed that Meghan's baby bump appeared to change size and shape in ways that seemed unusual, with some photographs showing variations that they argue were inconsistent with typical pregnancy progression. These observations about the baby bump have become a central part of the surrogacy allegations, with various online communities analyzing photographs from different angles and stages of Meghan's pregnancy. Some have claimed that the bump appeared to shift position or change size between public appearances, leading to speculation that it might have been artificial or enhanced in some way. Another aspect of Campbell's claims relates to Meghan's behavior and movement during the later stages of pregnancy. She has suggested that Meghan's posture and physical capabilities during public appearances seemed inconsistent with what might be expected from someone in advanced pregnancy, particularly during events where Meghan appeared to move with ease, despite supposedly being close to her due date. The timing of various pregnancy announcements and public appearances has also been scrutinized by Campbell and others promoting the surrogacy theory. They have suggested that certain aspects of the timeline seemed unusual or didn't align with typical pregnancy progression, though medical experts note that pregnancies can vary significantly between individuals. Campbell has been particularly critical of what she perceives as excessive secrecy surrounding both of Meghan's pregnancies. She argues that the level of privacy maintained by Harry and Meghan went beyond what previous royal couples had requested, and suggests this secrecy was necessary to conceal the use of surrogacy. The royal commentator has also pointed to the couple's decision to keep certain details private, such as the location of Archie's birth and the identities of his godparents, as evidence supporting her theory. While Harry and Meghan have explained these decisions as part of their desire to protect their children's privacy, Campbell interprets them as attempts to hide information that might reveal the truth about the pregnancies. In making these claims, Campbell has been careful to avoid making direct accusations that could result in legal action. Instead, she tends to raise questions and present observations that allow others to draw their own conclusions. This approach helps protect her from potential defamation lawsuits, while still promoting the theories she believes to be true. Campbell's strategy involves presenting what she describes as evidence and asking why certain questions haven't been answered or why particular information hasn't been made public. She frames her commentary as seeking transparency rather than making definitive accusations, which provides some legal protection while keeping the controversy alive. The response to Campbell's claims has been mixed, with some people viewing her as a brave truth-teller, willing to ask difficult questions that others won't address. These supporters argue that her aristocratic background and long history of royal commentary give her insights that others lack, and they believe she's exposing important information that the public deserves to know. However, supporters of Harry and Meghan view Campbell's activities as intrusive and harmful, arguing that she's promoting unsubstantiated conspiracy theories that invade the family's privacy. They contend that her claims are based on speculation rather than evidence, and that her continued promotion of these theories represents a form of harassment. The situation became more significant when mainstream media outlets began referencing Campbell's claims. Radar Online, a widely read entertainment news website, published articles citing Campbell's research and allegations about the surrogacy claims. This represented a shift from the theories being confined to social media and smaller outlets to being covered by more established media organizations. This mainstream coverage gave additional credibility to discussions that had previously been dismissed as gossip or conspiracy theories. When legitimate news sources began reporting on Campbell's claims, it elevated the conversation and brought the allegations to a much wider audience than they had previously reached. Campbell has also drawn historical parallels to support her argument for transparency in royal births. She has referenced past controversies in British royal history, including the 1688 incident involving King James II, where rumors circulated about a baby being secretly substituted during birth to ensure royal succession. By drawing these historical comparisons, Campbell argues that questions about royal births are not unprecedented, and that the monarchy has always been subject to scrutiny regarding the legitimacy of heirs. She suggests that secrecy in royal births has historically led to suspicion, and that transparency is necessary to maintain public trust. Reports suggest that Meghan is considering legal action against Campbell for her continued promotion of the surrogacy allegations. Such a lawsuit would likely generate significant media attention and could potentially require the disclosure of personal medical information that Harry and Meghan have worked to keep private. This potential legal battle represents a difficult decision for the couple, as pursuing litigation could bring even more attention to the allegations, while potentially exposing private details they prefer to keep confidential. Alternatively, ignoring Campbell's claims might allow them to continue circulating without challenge, potentially causing ongoing damage to their reputation. The allegations surrounding Prince Harry's children, and questions about their parentage or method of conception, extend far beyond personal family matters, potentially touching on fundamental questions about the British monarchy's future and the legal framework that governs royal succession. While Archie and Lilibet currently sit well down the line of succession, any serious doubts about their legitimacy could have far-reaching consequences for the institution of the monarchy itself. The British royal succession operates under a complex legal framework that has evolved over centuries, with specific laws governing who can inherit the throne and under what circumstances. The foundational legislation includes the Bill of Rights of 1689 and the Act of Settlement of 1701, both of which established clear requirements for legitimate succession to the British crown. These laws were created during periods of significant political upheaval, when questions of royal legitimacy were matters of national security and international relations. The Bill of Rights was enacted following the Glorious Revolution and established that only Protestant descendants of specific royal lines could inherit the throne. The Act of Settlement further refined these requirements and remains a cornerstone of British constitutional law today. Under these legal frameworks, royal succession depends on legitimate descent from the monarch through clearly established bloodlines. The laws were designed to prevent succession disputes and ensure the stability of the monarchy by creating unambiguous rules about inheritance. However, these centuries-old laws were created long before modern reproductive technologies and family structures became possible. If the allegations about DNA testing and surrogacy were to be proven true through legal proceedings or official investigations, they could potentially challenge the traditional understanding of legitimate royal descent. The legal system would need to grapple with questions that the original lawmakers never anticipated, such as whether children born through surrogacy arrangements could be considered legitimate heirs under existing succession laws. The issue of surrogacy presents particularly complex legal questions for royal succession. Traditional succession laws focus on biological descent from the monarch, but surrogacy arrangements can involve various combinations of genetic and gestational parentage. If Archie and Lilibet were born through surrogacy, legal experts would need to determine whether such arrangements affect their status as legitimate members of the royal family. Currently, there are no established precedents in British law for how surrogacy might impact royal succession rights. The royal family has never faced a situation where potential heirs were born through assisted reproductive technologies, leaving the legal implications uncertain. This uncertainty could potentially be exploited by those seeking to challenge the children's legitimacy or their future roles within the monarchy. Historical precedents demonstrate how succession disputes have previously threatened the stability of the British monarchy and the broader political system. One of the most significant examples occurred in the 12th century following the death of King Henry I, who died without a male heir. The resulting succession crisis led to a period known as the Anarchy, during which England was torn apart by civil war as different claimants fought for the throne. This historical example illustrates how questions about legitimate succession can quickly escalate into broader political and social conflicts. While modern Britain operates under very different political structures than medieval England, succession disputes could still create significant constitutional challenges and undermine public confidence in the monarchy. Another relevant historical example is the abdication crisis of 1936, when King Edward VIII chose to give up the throne to Mary Wallace Simpson, an American divorcee. This decision fundamentally altered the course of British royal history and demonstrated how personal choices by members of the royal family can have profound constitutional implications. The Edward VIII crisis also showed how quickly succession issues can escalate into broader questions about the monarchy's role in modern society. If serious doubts were to emerge about Archie and Lilibet's legitimacy, similar constitutional questions could arise about the institution's credibility and relevance in contemporary Britain. Until 1936, British law required the Home Secretary to be present at royal births to witness and confirm the legitimacy of potential heirs. This practice was established to prevent exactly the kind of succession disputes that could arise from questions about a child's parentage or the circumstances of their birth. The requirement was designed to provide official verification that could not be challenged later. The abandonment of this practice means that modern royal births rely on public trust and official announcements rather than independent verification by government officials. While this change reflected evolving attitudes about privacy and royal protocol, it also removed a layer of official oversight that had previously helped prevent succession disputes. If questions continue to circulate about Archie and Lilibet's parentage or birth circumstances, some constitutional experts suggest that the monarchy might need to consider reinstating some form of official verification for royal births. Such a change would represent a significant shift back toward more traditional practices and could affect how future royal births are handled. The implications of these allegations extend beyond Britain's borders to the Commonwealth realms, a group of independent nations that still recognize the British monarch as their head of state. Countries including Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and several Caribbean nations maintain constitutional connections to the British Crown, meaning that succession disputes in Britain could have international ramifications. If serious questions emerged about the legitimacy of potential heirs to the British throne, it could prompt discussions in Commonwealth countries about whether to maintain their constitutional connections to the monarchy. Some nations have already been considering moves toward republicanism, and a succession crisis could accelerate these trends. The Commonwealth connection also means that any legal challenges to royal succession would need to be resolved not just under British law, but in accordance with the constitutional frameworks of multiple nations. This international dimension would complicate any potential legal proceedings and could create diplomatic tensions between Britain and the Commonwealth realms. Public opinion in both Britain and the Commonwealth countries plays a crucial role in the monarchy's continued legitimacy and relevance. If widespread doubts emerged about the circumstances surrounding Archie and Lilibet's births, it could erode public confidence in the royal family and strengthen Republican movements in various countries. Opinion polls consistently show that support for the monarchy varies significantly across different demographics and regions. Younger generations tend to be less supportive of the institution than older ones, and any major scandal or controversy could accelerate changing attitudes toward royal authority and relevance. The rise of social media and digital communication has also changed how royal controversies develop and spread. Allegations and conspiracy theories can now reach global audiences instantly and can persist online even when they lack credible evidence. This new media environment makes it more difficult for the royal family to control narratives and respond effectively to damaging claims. The potential for a constitutional crisis arising from these allegations would likely force the British government to take positions on matters that they would prefer to avoid. Political leaders would need to balance respect for royal privacy with their constitutional responsibilities and public accountability. Parliament itself might need to consider whether existing succession laws require updating to address modern reproductive technologies and family structures. Such legislation would be politically sensitive and could open broader debates about the monarchy's role in contemporary Britain. The legal and constitutional challenges posed by these allegations highlight broader questions about how ancient institutions adapt to modern realities. The monarchy has survived previous crises by demonstrating flexibility and evolution, but the current controversy tests whether traditional royal protocols can accommodate contemporary family structures and reproductive choices. Looking toward the future, the resolution of these questions could set important precedents for how the monarchy handles similar situations. The decisions made regarding Archie and Lilibet's status could influence royal protocol for generations and determine how the institution maintains legitimacy in an increasingly complex and interconnected world. The stakes involved in resolving these allegations extend far beyond the immediate family members involved. The outcome could influence the monarchy's survival as an institution, Britain's constitutional framework, and the international relationships that have developed around the Commonwealth system over centuries. Whether these controversies ultimately strengthen the monarchy by forcing necessary modernization or weaken it by undermining traditional authority remains to be seen. What seems certain is that the questions raised about royal succession and legitimacy will require careful consideration of legal, constitutional, and political factors that extend far beyond the personal circumstances of any individual family members.